Hello, everybody. Tate Davis here. It's been a while since I've uploaded a video. This is going to be just kind of like not really a rant, just sort of like an op-ed, if you say, a video op-ed on click tracks, metronomes, and why I'm not really a huge fan of them. I never really have been, and not for the way that you think they are. I am a huge. I'll say this right off the bat. I am a huge fan of metronomes and click tracks when it comes to, from us drummers' perspective, working on rudiments, maybe working on grooves in our practice time, um, building up, working on coordination. If we want to if we want to play a certain part at a certain speed, I think that's where click tracks are necessary, and especially those of us in to go back to the rudiments, those of us in drum corps, click tracks are an absolute necessity. I think I'd even go as far to say is they're a requirement because drum corps requires drummers to be able to play the exact same parts at the exact same time with no discrepancies whatsoever. And a click track is very, very monumental in helping achieve that goal. So, in those respects, I think click track is a very, very helpful tool and almost a requirement when it comes to drum corps. However, when it comes to recording, I don't like it very much. Here's why. I'm not gonna go and say that if you play to a click track, you're gonna become a robot. But it feels like you're a robot. It just feels more organic if you don't play to a click track, if that makes sense. I am a huge fan of, especially when it comes to rock music and pop music, being as organic as possible. And I think that nowadays, since technology has evolved at an incredible pace, and people and artists and musicians have definitely been able to use the technology, and especially nowadays with the wealth of drum samples and drum programs like Easy Drummer and stuff like that, have used that more often in lieu of a live drummer, and it's locked to a grid, and it's perfect time. There's no little individual discrepancies the way that a lot of recordings from way back when were recorded. And I just feel like that it becomes really sterile and really boring, and that there's just no feeling or emotion in it. Case in point, I'll take my two favorite drummers of all time, John Bonham and Keith Moon. If you listen to Carousel Ambra by Led Zeppelin off the In Through the Outdoor album, during the second section, where the halftime section where it goes, Bonham actually slows down and drags, but it just makes the song feel so great and adds that pull, like a huge pull to the song to kind of rope it into place without it, kind of going off a lot. And it's just really cool. And Bonham was a master at doing that, especially in the Rover too, where he's just kind of pulling back and making the tempo feel so good, kind of teetering off the edge of a cliff. Zeppelin didn't record their stuff to a click. At least Bonham, I don't think Bonham did, from everything that I've read. And Bonham was just a master at feel, man. It's that kind of stuff you don't really see on recordings nowadays. And Keith Moon on Baba O'Reilly, when he first comes in, actually drags, and it's pretty apparent that he does. And his timing is kind of all over the place, and it just makes it so much more powerful and emotional, and to me really makes that recording feel organic. I don't care how many times I've heard Bob O'Reilly. I always appreciate the organic feel that Keith Moon brought to that song. And, you know, yeah, there was a backing track, but there wasn't anything, there wasn't a click track, the 1, 2, 3, 4 that was trying to seemingly rope everything into place. And Moon didn't feel like that he had to play to anything. He played, like I said, he dragged. There was a backing track, but from the way that he slowed down during his entrance in the song, just made it sound really, really. I almost can't even describe it. Just perfect in a way, even though rhythmically it wasn't. There was a whole bunch of discrepancies, and I could go on and on about this. And even on live albums, you see the tempo fluctuate, and that's why I love live albums so much, and why in my practice time I play to a lot of live recordings, because I want to be able to experience music in an environment where you just let the music breathe, instead of just trying to put everything on a grid and just making it sound really sterile. And I understand why producers and engineers do that nowadays. It's because it's easier to record and overdub stuff individually. But in my opinion, if you're a good musician, you should be able to play to other musicians and the discrepancies that come along with their playing. Without tooting my own horn, I think I do that very well. And I'll be honest, in my practice time, I don't play to a click very much. I play along to recordings, and that's really what helps me build my internal clock. In my opinion, it's your internal clock that matters. It's not your ability to play to a click track. And to all you producers who require watching right now, who like it when your musicians play to a click track, that's fine. I'm not taking shots against you. I understand why you like that, but just in my personal opinion, it's much more organic, and you get a much more raw, emotional performance if you just let the musicians play and just let the music breathe a little bit, and just let those individual discrepancies sort of occur, because that adds to the human element of music, and I'm just such a big proponent of that. So that's kind of my whole reasoning behind why I don't like click tracks, and why going forward, I will never play to another click track on any recording that I play on again. Like I said, I understand why people do it, and that's great, but that's just not something that I, as a drummer, want to do in an attempt to distinguish myself from the majority of the drummers. So, I know I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for this, so leave your opinions on click tracks in the comment section below, and let's get a conversation started. I think this will make for some pretty interesting discussion. So, thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye bye.